Hello and welcome to ACS Golf, and today's video has been released UK time 12 AM on a Friday, which can only mean one thing. It is a brand new club, and it is this. It is a PXG 0311 Black Ops fairway wood. Now, yes, I will say this was released in 2024. However, it is still the current model for 2025. PXG are now in the sort of cycle of 2 years when releasing new woods, which is great. I much prefer when companies do that rather than just releasing things every year, you know, because people feel they've got to go and buy the brand new one. And let's be honest, nothing's changed for the past 10 years. So I'm not going to say you're wasting your money, because I've got a brand new QI35 in my bag, but you know, it makes you feel like you need to go out and buy something brand new, which isn't necessarily going to improve your game, because you want the brand new club in your bag. So every 2 years, number one, it means they can really spend some more time looking into the clubs. And number two, you know, it just saves us a little bit of money if you want to have new clubs in your bag, just for the sake of having new clubs in your bag. Because a lot of these videos that I do proves the new stuff, well, the old stuff, sorry, works just as well as the new stuff. But anyway, so yeah, quite happy that PXG is now doing that. So yeah, there you go. So yes, it is a 2024 club, but I am reviewing it in 2025 because it is also 2025. Reason for the review is I love PXG. I think PXG are great clubs. I've had this in a bag for a while now. I swap it out with their secret weapon, so the mini driver, which I'll do a review soon, probably in about a month's time. So I've got a lot of stuff to get through for the channel, which is always good, you know, more videos for you guys. So yeah, and I just thought, you know, it's a great club, let's do a review for you guys for it, because I really enjoyed it. I will discuss at the end of this video though if this is going to be staying in my bag, or if I'm going to take something, well, I'm going to take it out and change it for something else. So we'll let you know at the end of this video if this will be in the bag for 2025 golfing season, which we're pretty much there now, to be honest. So what's in the bag will be coming out soon for that as well. But anyway, there you go. Enough sort of intro about this. Now, as always, what we're going to do is we're going to have a closer look at the club, which, let's be honest, it is stunning. We're going to come back here, go through all the technologies in this. As you can expect, it is jam-packed. And then we're going to get down to range, going to throw some figures at you. And unfortunately, a windy day. I can't seem to get down to range at the moment without there being adverse weather conditions, which is really annoying, which is affecting the results a little bit. But obviously, I take that into account when sort of discussing the club. Then we'll get through the ACS Golf Scale, and I'll give you my overall thoughts. All right, as always, let's have a closer look at this club. So there you go, and it is a stunning thing. PXG's clubs over the past few years have been gorgeous, and this is no different. Absolutely beautiful looking thing. Everything about it, the head shape, it is gorgeous, gorgeous. And also head covers. PXG head covers over the years, they're just so premium feeling. You know, nice soft fluffy inside, like proper, I feel like it's real leather. I've had this for so long now. Can't smell anything, but you know, feels like real leather. You know, it's just such good quality. You have a little magnet there as well, so for your marker, if you need to mark your ball on the green, just stick that to it, and then you can take it off, and then yeah, mark your green, which I think is a pretty cool little feature. Apart from trying to get clubs out your bag, if you don't have everything on there, you've got irons, it just sticks to it, which is really quite annoying. But apart from that, it is great. So there you go. Now let's jump into the technology that's in this club, because normally with PXG, they do two fairway woods. You know, they have their normal fairway wood, which is sort of their tour, well, not tour player, but for their better player. And then they have the XF, which is their ultimate forgiveness, so extreme forgiveness model. With this one, they've said we don't need that. They've gone basically, we've got enough distance in this to provide it just as well as, you know, the previous model for the better player, but also now we've got jam-packed forgiveness in it as well. We don't need that XF model. So you only actually get one model with this 0311 Black Ops, but you still get those adjustable weights. You know, 3 adjustable weights, you can get fitted for this and really get it dialed in. So it's really quite good. Going into all the technology that's in it, so breakthrough technology that performs. So high-speed square face. Got a little square face there and some nice ball marks. Play really quite sandy places around me. So every time in winter you hit it, or you hit it a bit fat, or it's a bit muddy, always get those damn ball marks on there, which is really quite irritating. Especially, it'd be great if they're in the middle. I don't really mind that. They never are. They're always sort of bad hits. Anyway, high speed square face. So the PXG 0311 back op fairways present a priority stainless steel face that is 10.5% thinner than previous generations and engineered to position the CG lower for high launch, optimal spin performance and insanely fast ball speed. Who doesn't love that? The optimized squared face design shift the perimeter skirt more vertical, increasing the surface area to significantly boost forgiveness of the club head. We're just saying everything great here. So they've got high strength carbon fiber crown. You pretty much find that in everything nowadays, apart from Titliest, I think, and also Strixon. They don't use carbon. They use something they say is the way forward. But anyway, let's not go down that rabbit hole. This priority design helps to optimize the fairway's performance by ensuring consistent and efficient energy transfer across various impact points on the club face. The result is increased ball speed and improved distance. So not only that, but obviously they can move weight around to really get it to perform how they want. So support weight structure. So through vigorous model and analyzing, testing, PXG designs an innovative support weight structure that delivers unbelievable sound and feel, with precision weighting technology positioned in the extreme perimeter of the club head and anchored to the outer wall. A sophisticated, stiff and stable structure that generates high frequency vibrations is created. Using the model analysis to study the vibrations, PXG determined that its geometry produces an optimal feel and sound at impact. So obviously these are these weights, you know, they're attached here to the walls of the club to sort of help that performance, which is great. And then we got robotic head polishing. So robotic polishing is a high precision process that enables the face thickness and face curvature, the bulge and roll radii are manufactured to design specs that maximize performance and impact corrective spin for ideal ball flight and off-center shots. Everyone's doing that at the moment. You know, it's not, you see on the front, it's a flat face. Behind it, you're gonna have all these different lumps and sort of mounds behind the face to help get those off-centered hits still performing just as well as if you hit it out the middle. Head design made from high strength AM355 steel. The 0311 black ops fairway woods have a comfortable low profile head shape. The club head body features a squared face and a flat sole design that helps position mass low and to perimeter, delivering increased forgiveness. So really happy for that. So basically just a summary of it. Performance benefits, high MOI, incredible forgiveness, which, you know, high MOI, my mind is no moments of inertia, that is maximum forgiveness. But anyway, maximum distance, mid-spin performance, extremely fast ball speed, tight dispersions, outstanding feel, sound and feel, and exceptionally forgiving. So they've literally mentioned forgiveness 3 times in that list. I mean, great. Fair enough. I just don't know why they've done that. But anyway, going through the options, lots of options for this, to be fair. So you've got 3 wood all the way down to 9 wood. So 3 wood's 15 degrees. You do have adjustability there, as you can see here. You can adjust it up by 0.5 degrees and you can lower it by 1.5 degrees as well. And then you do have that sort of options on the back there to sort of close that face even more. Obviously with this, it's not like your Cobras, it's not like your Titleist, it's not like Callaways. If you do adjust that club head, you're gonna adjust, you know, the lie of it. So you increase the loft, it's gonna close the face a little bit, decrease the loft, it's gonna open it up a little bit. So yeah, so 3 wood is a loft 15 degrees, 4 wood 17 degrees, 5 wood 18 degrees, 7 wood 21 degrees, 9 wood 24 degrees. So lots of options there, which is pretty cool, to be fair. So there you go. All right, so there's all the technology that's in it. Now I'm going to get down to the range. I'm going to throw some figures at you. I will say I tested this technically in a 4 wood, well, 16.5 degrees. I lofted it up, which I do with all my clubs. It just helps me get them in the air a little bit more. But yeah, so technically the test will be at 16.5 degrees. But anyway, let's get down to the range and throw some figures at you. Here I am down at the range into a headwind. I'm sure sometime soon I won't be going to headwind, but that just seems to be the way at the moment while testing these clubs. But anyway, one thing I will say straight off the bat with this club, out the middle of the face, it feels like one of the best fairway woods I've ever tried. The feeling was sensational. You know, PXG at the moment really are producing some great feeling clubs. Now, getting into the figures, on average I had a carry of 175 yards, total distance of 206 yards, ball speed 132 miles per hour, launch angle 12 and height 43 feet. So, you know, decent figures, especially into that headwind. Normally for a fairway wood I want sort of 220 yards plus. with a 3-wood lofted up, which I tend to do, you know, loft it up to 16.5 degrees in this case. And when the wind did drop, I did manage to get one out there, 196 yards carry, total distance of 222 yards, you know, ball speed 134 miles per hour, launch angle 12, height 51. So when that wind wasn't there, I was getting exactly the figures that I would expect from this type of club. So generally really happy with it. It was easy to get into the air, had some great forgiveness with it as well. To be honest, I mean, the one that was worse was only 190 yards, and that was such a bad hit. It really was a bad hit. So to still get that figures in a table for you, you know, generally really happy with the results of this, you know, especially into that wind. And when the wind dropped, you know, got that longest out there, and that's definitely the figures I'll be looking for with the 3-wood. You know, really happy with it. You know, easy to hit off the deck. That shortest there with only a total distance of 158, you know, 190, you know, launch angle 15. You know, it was a horrible hit, but to get it to 190, close to that average, you know, that far off, to be honest, you know, really pleased with that result. So great forgiveness and some good distance in there, and just generally a joy to hit, which is exactly you want. So there you go. Not brilliant figures. I mean, really for me, with a sort of fairway wood, you know, lofted up 16.5 degrees, I really want about 220 plus, maybe 225, you know, average really. You know, anything lower than that, then I should sort of get 3-wood up, 3 hybrid up there. So not brilliant, but it was into a strong headwind, to be fair. So, you know, 175 yards carry, 206 yards total distance, ball speed 132 miles per hour, which is maybe again a little bit on the size, well, low side for me. I'm swinging a little bit quicker at the moment. Launch angle 12, happy with that, and you know, in the air 43 feet, so happy with that as well. I will say there was a few points where the wind did actually die. You know, the standard thing when you're in the golf course, you're on a par 3, you've got a big strong breeze in your face, and all right, I'm going to club up here, and then the moment you hit it, the wind dies and it goes over the back, and then the wind picks up again. It was a bit like that. You know, we've all done it before on the course and been like, where did that wind go? What's happened? So there were a few shots where that did happen, you know, and I did actually manage to get 196 yards total carry, 222 yards total distance on one shot, ball speed around that 134 mark. So there, when the wind did stop, I was getting to where I needed this club to go, to be fair. So not the end of the world, to be honest, at all. Now, let's get into the ACS Golf Scale. So remember, we've got distance, what was it? Distance, feel, looks, price, and forgiveness. How many? I've done hundreds of videos. I always forget that every now and again. But yeah, distance, feel, looks, price, and forgiveness. 5 being the best, 1 being the worst. Now, distance-wise, I'm getting a 3.5. Yes, you know, for me, yeah, 3.5. It's not in the QI10 range, you know, the sort of standard model, so I sort of would be around that 4, the longer sort of standard models. It's definitely no slouch. I wouldn't put it in a 3, like some of your more ultimate forgiving clubs. You'd be sort of more that 3, 2.5 distance, and older stuff would be lower down. Well, 15 years older stuff would be lower down than that. So yeah, 3.5, you know, I did get up to that range when I needed to. And I've used it on a golf course, and I've never hit it and been like, oh, that's really short. So yeah, 3.5 out of 5, not a 4 for me. Even though it says, you know, huge distance, it's not as long as your standard TaylorMade in my mind. Maybe your standard Titleist is. I think it is a little bit shy than that. Maybe because that mid-spin profile, you know, and I took out that Dynapower. I'm testing a Dynapower Carbon at the moment, the new one, you know, which is more of a low spin bomber. Took that out, and that was going, even into wind, was going about 10 yards longer. So yeah, maybe I wouldn't necessarily expect it to be that much longer. So yeah, 3.5 out of 5, still really good distance in it, plenty of distance, but don't expect this thing to be a rocket ship. It's not, in my mind, even though a lot of the reviews that I read up about it said it has really good distance, which, you know, like I said, when the wind did die down, I did get up to that 220 mark, which I want. It's not going to go past that 220. I just, you know, it's that ball speed for me. You know, every now and again, if I'm really going at a fairway wood, you know, I can get up to 140 ball speed. And I just didn't feel like I could get that, or get that distance with this for, you know, your sort of core model. So yeah, 3.5 out of 5, nothing bad, but just a little bit down from the other guys. You know, if you want pure speed, pure distance, then, you know, I'd say go down the TaylorMade route. If you're still looking for core and some decent forgiveness, you know, for me. Yeah, so yeah, 3.5 out of 5. Moving on to feel, PXG, in my mind, at the moment, are producing some of the best feeling clubs out there, and this is no different. 5 out of 5. Feels beautiful off the face, feels soft, buttery, you know, but yeah, it does feel quite springy as well, even though, you know, I didn't feel I could quite get the distance I did with TaylorMade. You know, it just felt fun to hit. It felt gorgeous to hit. You know, really just lovely. One of the best feeling fairway woods out there, definitely at the moment. Same with their drivers, you know, same with their mini driver. You know, they just produce some really good feeling stuff. So yeah, and the sound's really nice as well. So yeah, 5 out of 5 for that. You're not going to find, in my mind, a better feeling fairway wood. You'll find ones on par. Titliest, I think, is always on par. They produce some stuff. Mizuno's produce some great stuff, but well, it comes down to feel. But yeah, this is definitely up there with them. Looks are going at 4.5 out of 5. I love the look of it. I love this modern shape of it. It is a gorgeous fairway wood. It really is. I'm just not a huge fan of the gloss. I just think in summer, it, you know, with the sun shining on it, even though it's black gloss, it can still put me off a little bit. I'd just rather have that sort of matte. If that was matte, spot on, beautiful, yes. But yeah, it's just gloss for me. I'm not a huge fan of gloss, and especially on the bottom with gloss, you know, it does, you know, this fairway wood, I feel like the black's going to go off this quite quickly, potentially. So yeah, 4.5 out of 5 for that. Just quickly going to price. So brand new, this is £319 in the UK at the moment. In the US, it's $350, or just below $350. So price, I'm going to 2.5 out of 5. Is exactly where it is compared to other competitors. It's really in the middle. You've got people like Wilson that is coming below that, but I will say straight away that Wilson does not feel as nice as this. And you don't have the adjustability like you do in this over the Wilson. So there are cheaper options out there, but with all the adjustability here, you know, it's not bad. So yeah, at the moment, 2.5 out of 5. I think it's exactly where it should be. Any more, I'd be like, is it going to give me the distance, you know, even though it's got great adjustability. So I think it's right there for me. Yeah, 2.5 out of 5. And watch PXG, because they will be putting sales on. I can imagine end of this year, they'll be thinking about bringing a new one out next year. So you'll probably get this for a lot cheaper. And then it could be potentially an absolute bargain. Now, on to forgiveness. Now, you know, I'm not going to put my hands up and say fairway woods for me are not the best club for me. They're really not. And I tend to use hybrids more. Anything that's really big behind it, I just tend not to use. And I kept this shot in because this shot was horrendous. It really was. You know, it's 206 on average. This thing only went 158 yards. It was horrible. Only 190 yards total distance, 15 yards up in the air, 41 feet. It was awful. I mean, I pretty much missed the club face, but you know, average 206, this one still went 190 yards. You know, for me, I nearly missed the face of it, to be fair. You know, it was so bad, but I've kept it in there. I kept it in there to say the forgiveness on this is great, because I think it was like, there, nearly missed it. It's fantastic. So 4.5 out of 5 for me. Forgiveness, really good forgiveness in there. Really impressed with it. You know, that shot was horrendous, and I've kept it in there, and it found a fairway, and it kept that distance up. Well, all right, I lost 16 yards into win, but still really happy with it. So there you go, guys. All right, guys, now I hope you enjoyed the review of the PXG 0311 Black Ops. One thing that I will say is I am not going to have this in the bag, because I want more distance. Basically, I can push my QI 10, you know, 3 hybrid up to this point. So for me, I'm going to go for more distance. It's the only reason it's not going to go in the bag this year. But it is a fantastic option. It's got so much good forgiveness, and it's got some great distance still in it. All right, guys, I hope you've enjoyed this review. If you did, do give it a like. Also, remember to subscribe to the channel, hit that bell icon, you know, so you do not miss out on weekly ACS golf reviews and more. And also comment down below, you know, do you play PXG? If you do, what do you play? And do you enjoy it? Because I do love the brand, I really do. All right, guys, I'll see you soon for the next ACS golf video. See you then. Bye-bye.